Welcome all of you to this live by Pathfinder for me. And for those of you who are here for the first time, those of you who are watching this on replay, we have these lives every Friday, Saturday, or at 6:30 p.m. And we solve something that is relevant to CAT. So if you follow us regularly, you will realize the schedules, and you will be able to prepare yourself in advance to join these lives. Today's lives is based upon circular races. So I don't think the questions today are, very tough. In fact, these are slightly lower on toughness as far as CAT is concerned, but this is a good place to start off your journey on
Hello, hello.
circular races. Yeah, somebody was trying to say something. Yes, Anushka, you're trying to say something? Chalo. So let us get started without any further delay. But before we get started, I just want to remind on a few things. Number one, somebody who's moving in a circular, if two people, A and B, if they starts with two different speeds, small a and small b, around a circular track whose circumference is c. If they start at the same time, and if the speed of A is greater than that of B, then A will catch up with B again after a time that is equal to C upon A minus B. This is when A and B, they travel in the same direction. That is the first thing you need to know in order to solve these questions. If they move in opposite direction, the formula doesn't change. The only thing is your time will be C upon A plus B, where A plus B stands for the summation of the two speeds. And that will basically be the relative speed between these two, A and B. So with this small background, let us go to our first question for the day. But before we go to the first question of the day, I hope you've solved yesterday's question. Anybody who has solved this question that I gave you yesterday? Anyone? Solved or not solved? If you've solved, you can give me a thumbs up. If you've solved, you can simply give me a thumbs up. Not solved? Okay. So, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Just a moment, please. Yeah. So this question is Amit and Narendra walk up an escalator at a newly opened Patel Mall in Ahmedabad. The escalator moves at a constant speed. For every 5 steps taken by Narendra, Amit takes 4 steps. Narendra takes 40 steps to reach the top, while Amit takes only 32. So obviously, the first thing you need to keep in mind is that the total number of steps, as I told you yesterday also, total steps is equal to steps of Amit plus steps of escalator in the time that Amit requires to cover 32 steps. And similarly, steps of Narendra plus SE prompt or SE prime, which stands for steps of elevator or escalator, when Narendra takes 40 steps. Because the time in which Narendra will cover 40 steps and Amit will cover 32 steps is going to be different, right? So you need to know that for Narendra, in the time when he takes 5 steps, Amit takes 4 steps. So obviously, in the time in which Narendra takes 40 steps, so 5 into 8, Amit should take 32 steps. Amit should take 32 steps. See, Narendra takes 40 steps, and Amit takes only 32 steps. So the time in which Narendra takes 5 steps, Amit will take 4 steps, and the time in which Narendra will take 40 steps, Amit will take only 32 steps. Because Amit has taken only 32 steps to reach the top. Correct? So with this hint, can you be able to solve it? Suppose the time required by Narendra is T. So steps of Narendra are 40 plus steps of escalator plus steps of escalator. That should help you deal with this particular question. And I guess there is some mistake in this question, because this will cancel out. Yeah, there is an error in this question here. I am so sorry. There is an error. I'll rectify this question. I think 40 steps and 32 steps. The number of steps need to change in order for you to be able to solve this question. Anyways, let us go to the first question for today. And your time starts now for this question. Okay, so anyone solved this one? Anyone solved this one? A race course is circular with circumference 1200 meter. Anil and Bimal started running simultaneously with speeds 18 and 27 km per hour, respectively, from the same point. So you have a circular race track. Circumference is 1200 meter. And when will they meet for the first time? I have already told you. They'll meet for the first time after a time that is equal to circumference upon the difference of two speeds. The only thing you need to keep in mind here is that these speeds are in kilometer per hour, and I told you yesterday also the units must be homogeneous. So 27 minus 18 into 5 by 18, which means 1200 upon 9 into 5 into 18, and you get 240 into 2, 480 seconds if they are moving in the same direction. And what about opposite direction? Time when they run in opposite direction will be 1200 upon the summation of the two speeds, except that these must be homogeneous, 5 by 18. So 1200 upon 45 into 5 by 18, 9 5s are, 9 2s are, 25 4s are, and 8s are. So when they are moving in opposite direction, they will meet after exactly 96 seconds. I hope I have not made a calculation error. 25 4s are 100, 20 8s are no. So 96 seconds is the answer. Have you understood this solution, please? If you understood, give me a thumbs up. If you understood the solution, give me a thumbs up. All right, let's go to the next one. Here is the next one. Again, an easy one. Your time starts now. Okay, Prathamesh says 325 seconds. Looks to be fine. Okay, time is up. So two men, Anil and Kumble, are running around a circular track of length 500 meters. Correct? They start and run in opposite direction. That is the second thing. Speeds are 4 meters per second and 1 meter per second. Speeds are homogeneous. And whenever they meet, Anil reduces his speed by 50% and Kumble increases his speed by 100%. So Anil starts with 4 meters per second and Kumble starts with 1 meter per second. Anil reduces his speed by 50% every time he crosses Kumble, and Kumble increases his speed by 100%. Basically, Anil halves the speed and Kumble doubles the speed. That's one thing which you should immediately understand as soon as you see this. Correct? The first thing is, if they start from the starting point S, after how much time will they meet for the first time? T1, that is the first meeting will happen after 500 upon 5, that is 100 seconds. Correct? And let's say the first meeting happens at a point S2. At a point S2. So now assume that S2 becomes the starting point. S2 becomes the starting point. And what has happened? Anil's speed for the second round after meeting at S2, Anil's speed will reduce by 50%, so it will become 2 meters per second. And Kumle's speed will also become 2 meters per second because it will double. And the next meeting will take place after 500 upon 2 plus 2, 4, that is 125 seconds. And 125 seconds, let us say they meet somewhere here, S3. Again, Anil will half the speed, Anil's speed will become 1, and Kumle will double the speed, so Kumle's speed will become 4. So T3, after S2, the third meeting point will happen after 500 by 5, that is 100 seconds. So first meeting happened after 100 seconds. The second meeting happened 125 seconds after the first meet. And the third meeting happened 100 seconds after the third meet. So the total time in this process is 325 seconds. Absolutely right. So Ramesh, very good. Have you understood how to solve this question, please? I hope so. Next. Again, you have 2 minutes to solve these two questions. This one question, I'm sorry. And your time starts now. Anyone who got an answer for this? Anyone who got an answer for this? None of you? Okay, somebody says D. Let's see. Once again, we have a circular racetrack of 650 meter, and these two runners, they start running at speeds of 8 meter per second and 5 meter per second in opposite direction. Now, after their first meeting, their speeds are interchanged. So remember, time of their first meeting must be 650 upon 8 plus 5, that is 13, which means 50 seconds. which means if this guy is A running at 8 and this guy is B running at 5, the distance covered by A must be speed multiplied by time, that is 400 meter. So if we say S1 is the first point, starting point, they'll meet at a distance of 400 meter in the clockwise direction. Correct? Let us say S1, S2 in the clockwise direction is arc distance 400. Remember, this is an arc distance. This is not a linear distance. So that is why I am representing it by S1, S2 and with this arc shape, 400 meter. And S2, S1 or S1, S2 in the opposite direction, anti-clockwise direction taken by B, must be the rest of the distance, that is 250 meter. And you can actually verify 5 into 50 does give you 250. Now what happens? What is the next thing that happens? The next thing that happens is their speeds are interchanged. Correct? Their speeds are interchanged, which means now A, who is running in this direction, the speed will be 5 meter per second, and B, who is running in the opposite direction, the speed will be 8 meter per second after S2. And again, after how much time will they meet? They will again meet after 50 seconds of T1. So T2 will be calculated after T1. So 650 upon 13, that is 50 seconds. But this time, the difference will be that B will travel at 8 meter per second. So B will reach 400 meters. So which is that point which is 400 meters from S2? Which is that point? It is again S1. See, S2 to S1 is 400 meters. And in 50 seconds, B covering at 8 meter per second will reach S1. Similarly, A will also reach S1. So their second meeting happens at S1 itself. Now what happens next? When they meet, their speeds will again interchange. That means now B will again travel at 5 and A will again travel at 8. And where will they meet? They will again meet at S2, which is 400 in clockwise direction and 250 in anti-clockwise direction. None of the answers are there in the option. So the correct answer must be D. I hope that part is clear to you. Let us go to the next and probably the last question of the day. Your time starts now. Please begin. Is the question incomplete? लगता तो नहीं है ऐसा. Okay, there is one piece of information that is left here, and this is if. I'm so sorry, I don't know how this sheet has come today. So if Find the time taken by Anil to complete the race if they meet for the first time after 120 seconds. After 120 seconds. I'll give you 2 minutes more, please. Thanks for pointing that out. After 180 seconds, 180 seconds, not 120, but please make it 180 seconds. They meet for the first time after 180 seconds. Okay, Prathamesh says 2,700. Let us look at this. See, since they are both moving in the same direction and the speeds are 3:2, so I can take the speeds as 3x and 2x. So they will meet for the first time after 180 seconds, and that must be equal to circumference upon the difference of speeds, or x must be equal to 5. So what is Anil's speed? Anil's speed must be 3x, that is 5 into 3, that is 15. And how much time will he take to complete the race? The race is 8100 meter. He is taking 15 minutes, sorry, 5 into 3. Yeah, 15. So 15, 5s are 75. 15 5s are 75, 15 4s are 60. So 540 seconds. And I divide this by 60, I'll get 9 minutes as my answer. The correct answer here should be 9 minutes. Yeah. Is the solution clear to you all? I'm sorry for the error. Please look at the PDF sheet tomorrow. I will rectify and ensure that this sheet reaches to you. And I guess this question also merits a correction because, with this data, you can't solve the question. So I will ensure that there is a corrected version of this question in the next sheet. That brings me to an end of today's live. I thank you all for joining this live. And for those of you who are here for the first time on YouTube, you can always join us. Yeah, you can always join us every Friday and every Saturday at the same time, 6:30 p.m. And if you wish to connect with me or connect with us for any suggestions or any queries related to CAT preparation, you can contact me directly on 98260 62415. That's all for now. Thank you very much.